The scientific method of research is designed to be a logical way of approaching a problem. This method is based on collection and examination of data through experimentation and testing, which is documented so that testing can be repeated and examined by others. This methodology can be broken down into steps, which any budding researcher should familiarize themselves with. Today, I will be going through these steps in conjunction with an example experiment I have conducted myself. This experiment was aimed to answer the question, is it likely that the Barnum effect has a strong influence on our acceptance of proposed traits by the Myers-Briggs personality test? You may be thinking, what does any of that mean? Well, essentially, the Myers-Briggs type indicator is designed to classify your personality into one of 16 possibilities based off of 4 scales. Introversion to extroversion, sensing to intuiting, thinking to feeling, judging to perceiving. The idea is our personality is expressed through decisions we make when problem solving or socializing. These decisions will most often align where we fall on these polar scales. And the Barnum effect refers to our tendency to accept vague statements about our personalities to be true, especially when proposed as unique to us, even though it's likely true for most people. It's commonly associated with astrology and horoscopes. The first step I will call problem sensing and information gathering. For each of these steps, you can read through the examples from my experiment on screen. The first step is where you sense a problem, define it in words, and look through the literature for any studies, articles, or tests which may guide your understanding of the problem. The next step is to create one or multiple hypotheses, which are possible solutions to the problem. It's important as well to include a null hypothesis, which is a hypothesis where the tested variables have no effect on each other. The next step is to plan and create an experiment to test the hypothesis. It's important in this step to try and isolate the experimental factor using a control. How the experimental factor is measured must be considered, and any variations in conditions which may impact results. My test involved the use of both fake and real Myers-Briggs test results, as well as an agreement score, which is explained in my method on screen. The next step is validation and repetition. The goal of this step is to repeat the experiment to verify the results of the first experiment. In this step, you may want to reconsider any variables or assumptions that you didn't consider in the first test that you may need to change. Unfortunately, I didn't have the time to take this step in my own experiment, which I'll be mentioning in the next step. Speaking of, the final step, the conclusion. On screen, you can see my data and my comments. In this step, you analyze the data collected to come to a conclusion. If you find your results are inconclusive, that's okay. That's also part of science. Even if you failed, your results can still be helpful for other scientists who are trying to answer the same question. Thanks for watching.